What's up everybody, it's your boy Mike Mac and I'm back with a different one. So this is going to be a look at the game Black Clover Quarter Nights. New game coming out in I believe September, and it's gameplay from the beta. So quick overview, Black Clover Quarter Nights is going to be a original story 4 versus 4 multiplayer game that pretty much incorporates a large amount of the main cast from the anime Black Clover series. The game hosts a variety of characters ranging from pretty much the full outline of the Black Bulls, minus Gray and Gordon, because you haven't really seen them, in any type of action that requires them to use their magic. So you get Asta, Yami, Noelle, Magna, Luck. Also get support from Charmy and Vanessa. Also have Ghost in there as another shooter. So you get all those guys. You also get a younger version of Yami. Not really sure why they did that one, but I mean, Yami's a pretty popular character, so it works. Follow up, you get the 3 members of the Golden Dawn that interacts the most with the Black Bulls. You get Yuno, Klaus, and Mimosa. Those 3 are in the game as well. And then only get 1 villain aspect, which would be Mars from the Diamond Kingdom. So they are all broken into groups of either fighter, shooter, healer, or support. So each character has their own specified set of skills. Only real difference for that would be older Yami and younger Yami, as younger Yami is a little bit less developed with his skills. So that's about the only real difference. For most of the things with the fighter group, as you can tell, they'll have more commonly attack spells. So you have different things that you can do. Everybody aside from Asta, who has no magic, can pretty much do shoot style attacks or range style attacks to still do damage but be at a distance. For Yami, you have his lightless slash, which you can do either up close or from a distance, as you can see through the gameplay. Same thing with Luck, who's also a fighter. He can either shoot lightning balls at people, or you can go in and get a pretty good attack in with a lightning charge and lightning kick. Everybody has an ultimate attack, so no matter who you're using, you will have an ultimate that can be used. Everybody also has a way to do damage to your opponents, even healers, like somebody like Mimosa, who, if you know the series, you know that she doesn't really have any type of offensive magic for the time being, but she does have an attack that pretty much can sap away the health of the opponent. Sap away the health added to her health, as well as just being able to heal her nearby comrades or set up stations for her comrades to go back to get healed. Usually if you have the shooter type, it's really just ranged attacks. Magna, he uses his fireball and bat to pretty much hit his attacks towards his enemies. So, it's usually things like that, just backup support really. Sometimes it can be more offensive, like Yuno, as you know from the series, has almost all range attacks, but they do a lot in damage. So it's just different aspects. If you're a support type, main thing that you'll be doing really is either setting up traps that can ensnare or cause quick damage to your opponents, and also help your allies out of a tough spot. They need to retreat for a second. You can set up a little trap. Like Vanessa, she has her string set up in the spiderweb type thing. So when you get caught in it, it launches you in the air. For Klaus, his support is a little bit more offensive. He throws some of his metal spires and spears at people. Also set up walls for defense. To block, pretty much to block enemies from having access to the opponents. Or your allies, sorry. So it's just a lot put into the game. No real mention of the story so far, but as you can see, the gameplay is pretty fast motion. You have to be moving. There's no lock-on system, so for that you just have to be paying attention to what you're doing. Just to make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing and also seeing where your enemy is. Also keeping track of your enemy can be pretty hard, because if you move to retreat a little bit, or if your enemy tries to do something and they dodge and they get away pretty quickly, it's really easy to lose sight of your enemy. As far as that, no real bugs in the beta. game is pretty much well put together for the start of it. The animation I think is nice. So gameplay, it can be a little difficult to fully understand. You also have this deck system. So with the deck system, you can either have it set up in the standard, and each deck system for each character does different things for them. So with the deck system for Yami, the standard, it pretty much just gives you pretty much basic parameters with your attack power, also recovery. No real additions to the attacks. But if you use something like the attack system or the attack deck, you know, that increases the output and ammo for the lightless slash. It also helps out with Black Cocoon with the attack form of it. And then you also have strategic, which the strategic deck, which pretty much is just helping you out with using your abilities better. You know, for setting up traps or countermeasures for certain things. Move on to the game plays that you have, or the game types you have for the different multiplayer things. You have 3 of them that were introduced. You have treasure hunt. It's pretty simple. A key is set up in the arena or the map. You go through, you find the key, acquire it, then you head to the treasure. You have to wait a little bit for the treasure to open. To get points, to acquire the key. If your team acquires the key and you open the treasure chest, that's 2 points. If you acquire the key but you're stopped before you can get to the treasure chest, you still get that 1 point for getting the key, but you also lose a point to your opponent, so your opponent can get a point for defending the treasure chest. Also, there's no real gains to beating other enemies. It's pretty much just getting your other opponents out the way so you can stop whoever has the key, or your allies can be helped to protect you so you can get to the treasure chest and get the extra 2 points. This one's set on a time variable, so you have about 5 minutes before the game's over to get the most points. If it's tied at the end of it, it goes into a sudden death type setup where whoever gets the next point wins. Moving on, you have the crystal movement. This is one of the more complicated ones because I never really was fully able to understand what moved the crystal. Also, you know, what all parameters consisted of it. How does defeating your opponents while the crystal is being moved? You know, it was somewhat confusing, but the main premise of it is that you have to get the crystal into your enemy's territory to finally win the game. So, you know, it's not really a time. It is a time variable, but you know, pretty much, can you get the crystal to your opponent's area, specified area? That's how you get victory. Last one is capture, area capture. So with that one, it's pretty much a certain area is set up as a zone, control zone. You get control of it, defeat your enemies, and however long you control the zone, you know, you get more extra points. Defeat your enemies, you get extra points. There are also multiple zones that you can take control of, but they usually focus on one spot. It's only 4 players, so you usually don't try to do other zones. Focus on one, get your characters all around, and defend that zone, and also get the points for it. First person to 100, you know, they win. It's pretty simple. So, just to go over, this is a pretty actually fun game. It can be a little difficult at first, but you know, you can catch the hang of it. I went from not being able to get any kills to topping off. I think my max was 27. Personally, I only used Yami and Asta. I also tried luck, but his was a little bit more difficult for me to get. So you get a wide variety of characters. I'm pretty sure other characters will be introduced, and there'll be other characters you probably download, or by the time the game come out, other characters that'll be able to be unlocked. So this looks like it'll be a lot of fun. You know, probably get the game probably about without any base, just off of the multiplayer, probably give it like, you know, 7.5 out of 10, because there was some difficulties with it. Also some difficulties with keeping up with your opponents, you know, but it actually does seem like a good game. And if you need some more background on the story itself, check out some of my other videos about Black Clover. Also, if you can, just go watch the series. Series is released on Crunchyroll every week in the Japanese sub, and also on Funimation for the English dub. Any other critiques on the video, the game, or any comments that you have about it, leave them in the comment section. Thank you for your viewership. Subscribe. 両手広げ大空見上げ